Hello, it's April 1st, so happy April Fool's Day. Even though it's the month of April now has started, there's still March Madness going on like crazy. And I'm talking about the NCAA college basketball tournament. Right now, both the men's and women's are down to the final four teams. And first, I'll talk about the women's because the women's tournament, it's not really surprising who's in the final four right now. Obviously, UConn, they are ranked number one and they've won so many national championships within the last couple years, and they're just a total powerhouse when it comes to women's basketball. So they're obviously in the final four. And another team that is a local Bay Area team that is also ranked number one is Stanford, and they've been doing really great the last couple years. They've always made it into at least the Sweet 16 or Elite 8 within the last couple years, and they've made it to the Final Four this year, which is really exciting. So those are the two number one ranked teams that are in the women's Final Four. Now, the two other teams that are in the Final Four for the women's, one is Texas A&M, and they're ranked number two, and they actually upset Baylor, who was ranked number one. And the reason why it was such a big upset was because Baylor has this massively tall player on their team named Brittany Ginger, and she is like 6'8" or 6'9", and I think last year she won, not player of the year, but she made, all-American team, and she's just a great player. And Texas A&M upset Baylor last week. So, that was kind of a shock because everyone expected all number one teams to make it into the Final Four. Another upset team that made it into the Final Four, and I'm so excited and happy because all you guys know that my favorite team is Notre Dame, is Notre Dame. And they were ranked number two in the tournament, and they actually upset Tennessee, who was ranked number one. And Tennessee is also a huge powerhouse when it comes to women's basketball. Pat Summitt's their coach. She's known for being a really mean coach and, just a lot of history with Tennessee women's basketball. They won a lot of national championships. So I was super excited for my Lady Irish to beat them and make it into the Final Four. So UConn actually plays Notre Dame on Sunday, which I'm very nervous about because UConn's really good. And then Stanford plays Texas A&M. So that's the women's Final Four. So I'm really excited to see the outcome of how that turns out on Sunday. Now, yes, I have to turn my main attention to the men's Final Four because that's the most exciting story of the last couple weeks. The four teams that are in the Final Four right now for the men's tournament, I would like to meet the person that has all four of these teams still in their bracket because that's just crazy. It's amazing that no number one or number two teams are in the Final Four for the men's. I just find that to be crazy because, you always get at least a number one or number two seed in the Final Four, but nope, not this year. It was full of upsets, which was really exciting and made the tournament awesome to watch. So the Final Four is going to be tomorrow on Saturday, and the four teams that made it into the Final Four are UConn, which was ranked number three, Kentucky, which was ranked number four. Yeah, not that much of a surprise. Teams that are ranked 3 and 4 are still pretty good and can make it into the Final Four. The two teams that also are in the Final Four are Butler, which is number 8, and VCU, which is 11. I mean, come on. VCU, this is the third time ever that a double-digit ranked team has made it into the Final Four ever in Final Four history. I mean, that's crazy. That's a huge accomplishment for VCU. So good for them. So yeah, I wish that there was some way that Butler and VCU could both make it into the championship game, but that's not possible because they both play each other tomorrow. So tomorrow it's Butler versus VCU, and although I'm rooting for VCU because they're ranked lower than Butler, I have a feeling Butler might win just because they made it to the national championship last year and they lost to Duke, but still they have experience. And then the other game that's being played tomorrow for the Final Four is UConn and Kentucky, and that'll be a great game too because both of those teams are very I think, evenly matched up as far as players, and both coaches are amazing. So it'll be really interesting to see who goes on and wins that game and makes it to the national championship. I'm going to go ahead and say I really like Coach Calipari, so I'll go ahead and say Kentucky is going to take tomorrow's game. I'll say it's going to be probably Butler and Kentucky for the national championship on April 4th. So, yeah, March Madness is still going on in April, so I think that's really cool. Another really big event that happened yesterday on March 31st was opening day in baseball. And of course, living in Northern California, all of my friends and all of my friends on Facebook and all their statuses and everything was about the Giants. And unfortunately, the Giants lost yesterday to the Dodgers. But, it's the first game of the season. There's 161 more games to be played, so losing the first game isn't that big of a deal. But as you guys know, my favorite team is the Yankees, and of course, we won our opener against the Tigers 6-3. And it's awesome to have so many people so excited for opening day for baseball. Like, I haven't seen this many people excited for opening day in so long, and the weather just started getting nice around here. So, just the combination of the weather being nice and it being sunny out and baseball and everyone being excited for the season just makes me so excited because, of course, I'm going to be going to a lot of baseball games this year. Um, Other news that's going on in the sporting world, hockey's getting down to the last couple regular season games. The Sharks made it into the playoffs. Good for them. My team, the Blackhawks, are hanging on by a thread right now. They're in the playoffs right now, but they still have a couple more regular season games to play. So fingers crossed. Hopefully they make it into the playoffs. But yeah, hockey playoffs are coming up really soon, so that should be very exciting. And then basketball, NBA, the playoffs aren't until June, so we got another, good 2 months worth of regular season games to be played. And the Bulls are doing really good. They're still, I believe, they're either in first or second place in their division. And Warriors aren't doing so great, but it's still fun to root them on and cheer for them. And I'm going to a Warriors game next weekend, so I'm very excited to attend that. And yeah, what the heck's going on with football right now? With the lockout and everything? Like, I don't even know what's going on. And I love football. So, if um if if the NFL season for 2011 ends up not happening, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. I don't know what a lot of my guy friends are going to do with themselves. I mean, all of my guy friends, all their Sundays are dedicated to watching football and their lives are dedicated to fantasy football leagues. So I mean, come on NFL, get your stuff together. Like, you guys need to have a season this year and you guys need to have a season every year after that. I don't know what all this stuff is about this lockout, but it's not good. Some other very disappointing news for me and other Notre Dame fans. Michael Floyd, who was on the Notre Dame football team, got arrested about a week ago for a DUI. And even though that doesn't mean he's necessarily going to get kicked out of school and kicked off the football team, Notre Dame is a very, very strict school. And in the past, they've had other student athletes get in trouble with, the law, either DUI or drugs or whatever, and they've been let go or indefinitely suspended from the team. And Michael Floyd was a huge part of Notre Dame's success this year. So I'm hoping that he doesn't get suspended and that he doesn't get kicked off the team. So that's the only bad news that I've heard within the last week or so regarding sports. So yeah, April 1st, a lot of stuff going on in the sports world right now. I will definitely keep you guys updated within the next couple of days on the Final Four and other sporting news. So talk to you later. Bye.